Stop scrolling. This is not another message telling you to wait a little longer. Chosen one, there is a secret God has been protecting, not from you, but for you. And tonight it stops being protected and starts being released. Something has been working very hard to keep your attention away from this exact message, pulling you toward distraction right as it started. And that alone should tell you something about how much this matters. For a moment, hear this exactly as it was given to me. I did not stay quiet because I forgot you. I stayed quiet because the moment had not arrived yet, and tonight it has. By the end of this message, you will understand exactly why this could not have been said to you a year ago, or even a month ago, and why tonight is the first time you could actually believe it. You needed to survive certain seasons first, seasons that were never punishment, only preparation you could not see the shape of while you were living inside them. You will feel the exact moment your identity shifts from someone waiting anxiously for news to someone trusted enough to carry it well. And before this message ends, you will be given one specific thing to do right now, tonight, that has nothing to do with waiting any longer. Because somewhere inside you, a part flinches the moment good news arrives, already bracing for the catch, already expecting it to fall apart the way other things have before. Chosen one, that part finally gets to stand down tonight. This is an emergency, but not the kind you have been bracing for. Stop and listen closely, because what felt like silence from heaven was never silence at all. It was preparation, timed precisely to the day you could finally carry it well. Chosen one, this message reached you tonight. Out of every night it could have reached you, and that alone is worth pausing on for a moment before we continue any further together. Notice something right now, before we go further. The moment I said the word emergency, some part of you tensed up, expecting bad news. That reaction happened automatically, faster than you could even choose it. That reflex is not random, and in a few minutes, it is going to make complete sense. You tell yourself you are simply being careful, staying realistic, not getting your hopes up. But, chosen one, there is a specific reason that reflex fires the way it does, older than this message, older than most of your adult life. If your chest just tightened slightly reading the word emergency, even for a second, type stop and listen below right now before we continue. Let this message know you are still here, still present, still willing to look closer at what that reaction actually is. Here is something worth sitting with for a moment. Good news is not supposed to feel dangerous. Relief is not supposed to feel like a trap waiting to spring shut. But if enough disappointments stack up over enough years, a mind will quietly start treating every piece of good news the same way it treats a threat, just to protect itself from being blindsided one more time. That protection made sense once. It kept you from crashing every time something fell through. But chosen one, that same protection is now standing directly in the way of the very thing you have been asking God for. It is not evil. It is not even wrong. Exactly. It is simply outdated. And tonight, it gets named clearly for the first time. Chosen one, let me show you 5 signs that you are exactly who this secret was meant for. 1. You have a habit of preparing for bad news, even in ordinary moments. Checking your phone with a flinch, opening emails with your shoulders already tense. 2. You downplay good things the instant they happen, quietly waiting for the other half of the story to ruin it. 3. You have prayed for something specific for so long that some part of you has quietly stopped expecting an actual answer, even while you keep praying anyway. 4. You feel a strange, persistent pull toward messages like this one, as if part of you already knows something is coming, even before you can explain why. 5. You have noticed distractions multiplying right when you try to sit still with God. Phone calls, sudden tasks, arguments, exhaustion, arriving at suspiciously convenient moments. If 2 or more of those are true of you, chosen one, this message did not reach you by accident tonight. I have watched this exact pattern before, in people who had genuinely good news coming, and still could not let themselves believe it until it was undeniable. It always follows the same order. First, hope, then disappointment, more than once, then a quiet decision, never spoken out loud, to stop hoping so loudly, just to protect the heart from being broken again. And then, if the person is still listening when a message like this one reaches them, comes the actual release, arriving at the exact moment they had almost stopped waiting for it. Here is the truth underneath everything you have felt, but could not fully explain. What you thought was silence from God was actually a mind that had learned, painfully, to distrust good news before it could even fully arrive. And once that trust is restored, not by proof, not by the news finally showing up exactly the way you imagined, but by a mind that can actually receive without flinching, you stop bracing and start believing while it is still unfolding. That is the entire shift, chosen one. Not more waiting, not more proving your faith through gritted teeth. A restored capacity to receive good news as real, the moment it arrives, instead of years after the fact. This is not only your own pattern to carry, either, chosen one. Most people who learn to distrust good news picked it up from somewhere real, a household where relief was always followed by another crisis, a family line where celebration felt dangerous because it was so often followed by loss. Nobody sat you down and explained that hypervigilance was optional. You simply learned, the way children learn everything important, by watching what happened to the people who let their guard down too soon. But a pattern absorbed by watching can be released by watching something different, starting tonight, starting with this exact message. That is not wishful thinking, chosen one. That is simply how patterns like this have always worked. In every story like yours that I have watched unfold this way before. Think about your own life honestly for a moment. How many times has something good actually happened, quietly, and you almost missed celebrating it because you were too busy waiting for it to fall apart? That is not caution serving you well. That is a specific, nameable pattern, and in a few minutes, I am going to show you exactly where it lives and exactly how it formed inside you. Here is the pattern, named plainly now. You hear good news, and before you can even fully process it, your body tightens slightly, waiting for the catch. You get an answer to prayer, and instead of full joy, you feel a strange mix of relief and dread, like you are waiting for the receipt to be revoked. You celebrate quietly, carefully, half a step behind the actual moment, just in case. You tell yourself you are simply being wise, staying grounded, not getting ahead of yourself. But chosen one, that has never actually been the whole truth, and somewhere inside you, a part of you already knows it. Here is what is actually happening underneath the surface. Somewhere in your history, good news was followed by loss enough times that your mind built a system, one job only: treat relief as a warning sign, so you are never caught fully open and undefended again. We are going to call this the brace reflex. Picture a household where every birthday, every promotion, every small joy was quietly followed within weeks by a crisis, an illness, a job loss, a fight. A child growing up in that rhythm learns something without ever being told, that good things are simply the calm before the next storm. Years later, as an adult with an entirely different life, that same person still feels their stomach drop slightly whenever something goes right, and calls it a bad feeling, never once tracing it back to that rhythm. Right now, some of you are thinking, I have tried to just relax and trust more before. It never quite worked. I understand that. But telling yourself to relax does not switch off an alarm system built specifically to override relaxation the moment it senses good news. That is not a failure of trust on your part. That is simply the wrong instruction being given to the wrong part of your mind. The brace reflex does not usually look like fear from the outside. It looks like caution, like maturity, like someone who has simply learned not to get too excited. But underneath, it is the same alarm system firing every single time, whether the news is actually dangerous or not, because it never learned how to tell the difference. The good news, and it truly is good news, is that a reflex installed by repetition can be interrupted by repetition too. A new pattern laid down deliberately on top of the old one, starting with this exact moment of recognition. So recontextualize this fully. Every time you received an answer to prayer and could not quite let yourself enjoy it, every time you waited for the other shoe to drop on something that was actually just good, that was never a lack of gratitude. That was the brace reflex firing exactly as it was trained to fire, protecting you from a version of loss that this specific moment was never actually carrying. Here is your agency tonight, starting right now, before this message ends. The next time relief or good news arrives and your body tightens automatically, say quietly to yourself, "This is the reflex, not the truth of this moment." One sentence, spoken silently and repeated every time the reflex fires, interrupts a pattern that has run unchallenged for years, without ever once being questioned. If you just recognize that reflex firing in you right now, remembering a time you could not fully enjoy something good, type, "I see it," below, before we continue. Naming it, even in a comment, weakens its grip on you a little more tonight. Some of you are thinking, this sounds nice, but I have heard promises like this before, and they did not come true. I understand that, and I am not going to tell you that reaction is wrong. That is fair, and honestly, it should feel fair. Promises broken by people or by circumstance leave real marks, and I am not going to pretend otherwise tonight. But chosen one, this message is not asking you to believe a promise blindly one more time. It is asking you to look at a pattern, the brace reflex, that runs the same way regardless of whether any individual promise turns out true or not. The pattern is not the proof, and it never claimed to be. The pattern is simply what has been standing between you and receiving whatever proof eventually arrives, whenever and however it finally does. Now, I want to pause and hold something in front of you before we go further. Over recent years, people who study the mind at a much deeper level than willpower alone have discovered something that quietly explains why hypervigilance is so difficult to simply talk yourself out of. I am going to tell you exactly what they found later in this message. But right now, hold this question with me. What if the reason delay has felt like denial for so long is not because God moves slowly, but because something in how your mind processes waiting has been working against you the entire time? If you want to understand that fully before this message ends, type "understand" below right now. Here is the deeper layer, chosen one, and this one explains the actual timing question you have probably asked more than once. You tell yourself the delay means the answer was denied, or forgotten, or given to someone else instead. But that has never been the real reason, even on the nights it felt most true. Here is what is actually happening. Most real breakthroughs are not single events. They are several separate pieces, people, circumstances, timing, and your own readiness, being assembled simultaneously, quietly, often without any visible sign that assembly is even happening. We are going to call this the assembly delay. Delay, under this pattern, was never denial. It was multiple moving parts lining up at once, and the moment they finish lining up is the exact moment the secret finally gets to be told. So recontextualize this too. Every year the answer felt withheld, every season that felt like silence, that was never neglect. That was assembly, happening in rooms you could not see, on a timeline that required more pieces than you alone could control or even perceive. Think of a house being built. From the outside, some weeks it looks like nothing is happening at all. No visible progress, no new walls. But underneath, the wiring is being run, the plumbing is being fitted, the pieces no one can see are being locked into place, so that when the final pieces finally show up, everything else is already ready to hold them. Here is your agency tonight. Stop measuring the delay as a message about your worth. Delay was never a verdict. It was construction, and construction that includes more moving pieces simply takes longer than a single wish would. Hold that image for a moment. The wiring already run, The piece is already locked in place, closer to completion than the silence ever let on. That image is closer to where this message is headed than you realize right now. I have not named you completely yet, chosen one. You are not only a chosen one waiting for news. There is a more specific name for what you are becoming tonight, and that name changes everything about how you move forward from here. Here is what you now know that you did not know a short while ago. The reason this secret felt withheld was never a lack of love, and never forgetting you. It was two things running quietly together, the brace reflex and the assembly delay, both making silence feel like rejection when it was actually preparation. Naming them tonight gives you the first real tool, catching the flinch the moment it fires, and recognizing delay as construction instead of denial. But the identity underneath all of this is simple. You are not someone waiting anxiously by the door for news that may never come. You are the ready receiver, someone finally capable of holding good news without flinching the moment it finally arrives. That is who you have been. That is not who you are required to stay. What if the reason some people can finally receive good news without bracing for the catch comes down to a discovery made back in 1981, when Dr. Roger Sperry won the Nobel Prize for showing what happens when the two halves of the brain finally work in true synchronization instead of quiet conflict. Researchers since then have found that this kind of synchronized clarity is natural in around 98% of children. By adulthood, fewer than 1 in 1,000 still access it easily. Modern stress, disappointment, and years of bracing slowly erode it, not through any fault of yours, simply because nobody ever taught you how to restore it. A woman in California described the shift as finally being able to hear good news and just feel happy, without the automatic search for what might go wrong hiding underneath it. A man in Texas, who had spent years assuming delay always meant no, said the biggest change was simply being able to wait without dread for the first time he could remember. That is because of what a team I am about to describe discovered. A team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Daniel Barone in New York, spent years studying exactly this synchronization and built a simple 8-minute audio experience around it. They call it the Genius Switch. The Genius Switch. It is not a brain frequency gimmick, and it is not another meditation app asking for more of your attention. With headphones, 8 minutes a day, it gently guides both halves of your brain back into the synchronization Dr. Sperry first described. While you simply listen, the Genius Switch is not for everyone. It is for the chosen one who is finally ready to receive good news the moment it arrives, instead of bracing for a catch that was never actually coming. In person, this kind of neural retraining through a specialist can run $300 an hour, and a comparable home device has sold for $7,000. The Genius Switch was built to sell for $49. Today, on this specific page only, it is available for $39, with 4 bonuses included at no extra cost: a guided visualization audio, a smart grocery guide for foods linked to mental fog, a classic manifestation book, and a printable 5 habits guide. Every purchase is covered by a full, unconditional, money-back guarantee. Listen once, listen 80 times. If it does not serve you, you are simply refunded. I will say this plainly. The real emergency tonight was never a disaster coming. It was time. The same time the brace reflex has already cost you, quietly, waiting for a catch that was never coming. One thing worth naming directly: if you search for anything sounding similar online, you will find tracks with no real synchronization technology behind them, wearing a similar name because doing so costs nothing. The description and the pinned comment below point to the one verified page, if your spirit resonates with this tonight. The tool I just described does not replace God, and it does not replace the secret He is already releasing over your life. It simply removes an old reflex sitting in the way of a mind that is finally ready to receive it fully. A tool that helps you receive without flinching, gives what God is doing even more of what it was always meant to land inside. And for the chosen one who felt something stir, the moment the mind was mentioned earlier tonight, that door is still open in the description below. It is a small step, but small steps taken from a clear, unflinching mind have changed entire seasons before, and they can change yours. Before this message ends, I want to speak something over your life, chosen one, so stay with me for one more moment. Thank you, quietly, for every season that felt like silence but was actually assembly. Every delay that felt like denial, but was actually construction happening where this person could not see it. Right now, release the brace reflex. Release the belief that delay always means denial. Release the flinch that meets good news before joy even gets a chance to land. Release the years spent guarding your heart against a catch that was never actually coming. Release the fear of being fully open. Release it, all of it, tonight, completely. Hear this exactly as it was given to me one more time. I did not stay silent to punish you. I stayed silent to prepare you. And tonight, the secret finally gets to be yours. I am the ready receiver, not the anxious watcher at the door. I am someone who can hold good news without flinching. Someone the secret was always meant for. And it starts the moment I stop bracing for what was never actually coming. If you receive that declaration tonight, if some part of you just exhaled for the first time in a long time, type "I am ready" below before you go. And so it is.